folks. Today is June 9th, 2008, and this is part 6 of my video series on economic collapse. And today my topic is going to be conspiracy theories. First, I'd like to say I don't like the word theory being attached to conspiracy, because a theory, by definition, is an idea that explains how something in the natural world works, and it's subject to argument and discussion. There's no definite factual basis for it. I think that the phrase conspiracy theories, as far as I'm going to talk, should be renamed to conspiracy facts. Theories are interesting and certainly not beyond the realm of possibility, but you really can't act on a theory because there's always a chance that a theory could be wrong. For example, the theory, the conspiracy about 9/11 being the responsibility or being caused by the United States government. All the evidence I've seen in that regard is really circumstantial. So, for example, there's lots of points being brought up saying things like the government had documents internally that indicated that an act of terrorism on the United States would help the agenda of the government be able to be pushed forward more easily. Also, things like that Bush said he saw the first plane hit the tower at a time when we know that that particular video had never been on television when he said that he'd seen it. Stock market people are shorting airline stocks just before 9/11. The fact that Bush was dealing with the bin Laden family at the time when the attacks occurred, and the bin Laden family was allowed to get out of the country while the rest of the people in the United States were grounded. Rapid cleanup of the site afterwards so that no independent analysis could be done to tell more about activity of the crash. Things like the Building 7 collapsing in its own footprint, like it was demolished without anything hitting it. Well, the list goes on and on and on. Unfortunately, though, those are all really interesting points, but nonetheless circumstantial when it comes to accusing the United States government of actually being involved. Well, it's very important that we do find out who was behind the 9/11 attacks. Unfortunately, the information that's available to us at the moment does not have a smoking gun, so to speak, pointing at the U.S. administration. If you were to try Bush in a court of law today for that crime, I believe that there's no way you can get a conviction. There's just too much circumstantial information out there. So, in this video I'd like to deal with what I would call conspiracy facts. There's plenty of evidence in history indicating that the government has done things in the past that were, shall we say, somewhat shady. Since World War II, the U.S. government has interfered in the administrations of 50 countries and has dropped bombs on 30 countries. And some of those countries were democracies. If you want to check out for yourself some more information about how the U.S. government has interfered in the affairs of other sovereign countries, you can just check out the works of John Pilger, Pilger. Have a look at what he says about Venezuela in particular. It's very interesting, and other countries around the world that have been influenced by the U.S.'s policies. An example, under the name of stopping Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction, the U.S. dropped hundreds of tons of depleted uranium bombs in Iraq. That's clearly a humanitarian atrocity, and it was done under the guise of bringing in, lying the hearts and minds of the Iraqi people to get a democracy going there. It just doesn't make any sense at all in that light. Another thing you might want to look into is the conspiracy around the Federal Reserve being formed in 1913, and the events leading up to that in 1907. Very interesting story. You could Google a man named Edward Griffin, who wrote a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. Either one of those set of keywords will give you ample information as to what went on to form the Federal Reserve in the first place. Definitely a secret of collaboration between the government and the banking system, or bankers at the time. Then there's the New World Order, which is a plan, obviously, to unify the governments of all the countries of the world into one main central government. The UN, the World Trade Organization, the European Union are all clear examples of steps in that direction. There's absolutely no doubt that that kind of movement is alive and well in this country, in the United States. The North American Union is definitely on the agenda. I have seen videos of people in the Manitoba legislature here in Canada talking exactly about that topic. There's no question there are people who want to bring in a one world government, and many of those people are very well meaning. The problem, of course, that I see is that there are also people in the movement that want to get that kind of power over all the people of the world. And of course, if that happens, there is no place to go for an alternative. And it's evident from the steps that have been taken thus far by organizations such as the UN and IMF and the World Trade Organization that they don't really care about the individual, and they're definitely corporate oriented, and they're not there to protect the people and the planet. In Canada, there are bills in Parliament right now that are helping to facilitate the North American Union. For example, Bill C-51, which is an amendment to the Food and Drug Administration, which will give more power to the government to control food, well, not food per se, but any kind of health or therapeutic products. And the bill's been brought in under the guise of providing Canadians with more access to healthy food, healthy supplements. And in actual fact, it's there to unify or to harmonize the Canadian laws with those of international bodies. So, in summary, I like to say that the more you look at history, and the more you learn about what has happened in the past and been done by governments, the more you realize there have been a lot of conspiracies gone on in the past. And logic will tell you that there's no reason to suspect that that type of activity has ceased, and there are plenty of conspiracies underway as we speak. And that concludes video part 6. Thanks for watching.